Welcome, everyone. I'm Sandra Bargman. A few years ago, I wrote and performed a solo show called The Edge of Every Day, which was an exploration of the rough edges and contradictions we all face and grapple with. The show hit a nerve, and the relevance of the topic would only grow over time, more than I could have foreseen. So, here we are. Real talk with real people, sharing stories and perspectives that spark provocative invitations to leap out of what's safe, on the edge of every day. Thanks for listening. Hello, everyone. We are live in the hive. Thank you for joining me on this, the 20th episode of The Edge of Every Day, here on talkradio.nyc. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, and for those of you who don't know me yet, I encourage you to check out my bio on talkradio.nyc or visit my website, sandrabargman.com, or tune in to any of my previous episodes. In a nutshell, this show is about celebrating triumphs, pushing boundaries, and exploring rough edges. Through conversations and shared stories with friends and colleagues, it's my hope that we can begin to understand our edges. And what I mean by edges is those places where we are fearful, those places where we're resistant to change, those places where paradoxes and contradictions live in our beliefs and our understandings, both about ourselves and about the world around us, those places where we don't want to look. Listen, we live in turbulent times, and we are coming to understand that life isn't black or white. It must be an embrace of both, and the more we recognize our own edges and get real about them, the more we can help others to do the same. And that, I fully believe, can help to change the world. So thanks again for tuning in. And without further ado, it's time to introduce our guest this evening. Dr. Renee White, a.k.a. Dr. Nay, is a professor of education at St. Joseph's College in New York. Dr. Nay earned her doctoral degree of educational leadership at the University of Virginia and has been a college professor since 1995. Also, as a graduate of New York University and CUNY Brooklyn College, she teaches literacy, curriculum and instruction, and cultural diversity. She is a well-published scholar in academe, presenting at national and international conferences. Dr. Nay is currently writing motivational poetry. She shares her insights about women's experiences regarding life and love with her diverse audience of women. Her recent book publication, Embrace Your Power, a Sistah Conversation, affords her readers an opportunity to self-reflect and self-empower through her poetic craft. As the founder and president of her consulting company, she offers empowered feminine leadership workshops, inspiring women leaders and teaching effective strategies to embrace their authentic feminine power and energy in their inclusive business environments. Dr. Nay also promotes women's unity, encouragement, empowerment, and education via a virtual community, the Sistah Conversations blog, which welcomes women from around the globe to share their professional expertise and learned life experiences with one another. Dr. Nay's mission is to facilitate a worldwide movement that embraces and advocates for women's empowerment. A reminder, this month is Women's History Month. The theme of Women's History Month this year is providing healing, promoting hope. And I've chosen 4 women for my 4 Monday night conversations on the edge of every day this month that do just that. Provide healing and promote hope. 4 women committed to the upliftment and advancement of other women. And tonight, for my 4th conversation during Women's History Month, I am thrilled to welcome Dr. Nay. Hello, Dr. Nay. Welcome.
Hey, Sandra, how are you tonight?
I am doing fabulously. How are you doing?
I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I am so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for saying yes and sharing your wisdom and knowledge and beauty. And I'm loving your gorgeous springtime pink. That's inspiring me too.
Yes, even though it's only, 30 degrees here in New York,
I
but
know, but we need the inspiration because it was hot just a couple of days. Well, not hot, but warm. But spring is here. All the signs are here. And with that, we're going to dive in just to let our listeners know that Dr. Nay and I know each other as the last two guests on the podcast. We know each other through our Reset networking group. It's not all women, but mostly women and the men that we love. And it's been fantastic getting to know Dr. Nay and reading her fantastic book of poetry, which we will get into later in our conversation. But first, I want to hear the story about you're a girl from Jamaica, Queens. Am I right?
yes,
You're a New Yorker through and through.
all the way through. I'm a little girl from South Jamaica, Queens, right by Kennedy Airport.
I love it. All right. So
Like
you have soaring in your spirit. You have soaring above in your spirit.
I do. I went to an elementary school that was right by Kennedy Airport, and I don't know if people remember those airplanes, those Concords,
Oh my gosh, yes.
those supersonic airplanes. I guess it was back in the 70s, and they had to change the windows because they used to make such a loud noise and they used to disrupt the classrooms. That's how close my elementary
Wow.
school was to, well, the building is still there. But yes. So the school was right on the edge of Kennedy Airport. So just to give
Wow.
the audience an idea of where I grew up.
So so this very school that you attended is where you dreamed of becoming a teacher, correct? Was
Yes.
that always a life goal?
It was. I
I
always
love it.
wanted to be a teacher. I was one of those little girls who had the chalkboard in the basement
Excellent. I
and
did too.
played school.
Oh my, I love that. You're a lifelong learner. I love learning.
A lifelong learner. When I was in second grade, I used to, go to the kindergarten hallway at lunchtime and read to the babies.
Oh, of course.
So I always had it in my blood.
I love that. So you grow up, you decide that this is truly the path that you want to take. So tell us about that path and how that brought you to becoming a professor, a college professor. Share that story with us.
Okay, so I went through school. I went through the New York City Board of Education. Actually, I began NYU. I went to NYU in the pursuit of a degree to be a computer science math major.
Oh, interesting.
Because at that time they were saying, "Oh, you get a job, at
It,
IBM, you can make a lot of money, blah blah
right.
blah 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 blah."
Tech, 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 tech.
Tech. But actually, I tried it. My eyes went bad. I hated it. The programming, it was very tedious, but my eyes went bad a couple of times. And I said, no, my passion is teaching.
Mm.
So I went back to teaching, and I became a teacher. I graduated, and actually, I went back to teach at my elementary school.
Oh my.
And what was so amazing about that was some of my teachers were still teaching at the school. So I was in a dilemma of, do I call them by their first name or do I call them Mr. or Mrs. because of the respect?
Yes, totally.
It was awkward because I was still young. I was 21,
Right.
So it was wonderful. And what was even so fascinating was that some of my classmates' children were attending the school. So it was such a wonderful feeling because I went back as a role model, where I was showing the children that, yes, you can grow up, in the neighborhood, and you can achieve, you can, aspire, you can have dreams, and you can fulfill those. So it was great going back to my elementary school. And then I decided that I wanted to move out of the classroom. I wanted to expand my impact. Yes. So I decided to attend Brooklyn College and pursue my master's degree in literacy, and focus on teaching reading in the classroom. And with that, I would go into other classrooms and collaborate with other teachers and take on more of an administrative role as well. So then I was able to navigate between other schools, right? And I did that. And then I decided to move to Virginia because I wanted to spread my wings a little bit and see what it was like to live outside of New York. And I have family in Virginia. So when I moved to Virginia, I decided to pursue my doctoral degree because I also wanted to make a difference in regards to policy. So I decided to pursue my doctorate in educational leadership to become a superintendent. Fabulous. Because I felt that I can make even more change if I could make an impact on policy decision making. Fantastic. So that's why I attended the University of Virginia.
And then you moved into, you took a position. We have 2 minutes till our break. So to finish this wonderful story that I've heard you share about you couldn't find a job out of the gate and you ended up getting your job at a college, which I loved. That was not what you was not the plan.
It wasn't the plan. So I applied for superintendent jobs. I applied for higher education jobs, and God led me to higher education,
which is where they needed you.
And yeah, I guess that was the plan. And I ended up teaching at Virginia Union University, which is a historical Black institution, and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I was mentored by Dr. Dolores Green, who always said that she saw part of herself in me, and she groomed me, and I had such a learning experience teaching at that institution. And the rest is history. And I've been in higher ed now for almost 28 years.
Unbelievable. Well, that is an exquisite place for us to take a break. When we come back, we will hear from Dr. Nay about how she moved into writing, authoring this incredible book of poetry. We'll find out about her workshops and her online virtual community when we are back on the Edge of Every Day. Stay tuned.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business, or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant. And on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays, 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you on edge? Hey, we live in challenging, edgy times, so let's lean in. I'm Sandra Bargman, the host of The Edge of Every Day, which airs each Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc. Tune in live with me and my friends and colleagues as we share stories and perspectives about pushing boundaries and exploring our rough edges. That's The Edge of Every Day on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Chipping around, kick my brain to the ground. These are the days it never rained, but it pours on the edge of every day. And we are back with Dr. Nay. And so let's pick it up. I did say we were going to dive right away into your book, but I do want to before, because we're going to get back to cultural diversity in our next session, but I wanted to talk about your teaching the teachers. You're working at this level and training the teachers in literacy and cultural diversity. Speak to us a little bit about that before we move into your book, please.
Well, it's really interesting because as a elementary teacher, I wanted to make an impact on the children of color, all children, but especially children of color, right? A direct impact. And I had wanted to make an impact as a superintendent, right? In regards to having influence on policy making. So now, as a teacher of teachers, right, I am making an impact in regards to preparing teachers, not just pre-service teachers, but in-service teachers, because I teach undergrads and graduate teachers as well, right? Okay. So I think about how many teachers I've influenced over the years. And then I think about, articles that I've written in journals that have come into the hands of other people, right, in academia, and conferences that I've presented in regards to my thoughts in regards to diversity, right?
Of course.
So it's just amazing how probably when you think about it, I might have influenced even more people in the path that I've taken.
Oh my goodness, yes. My goodness, yes. The tendrils.
Right, in the professional development. And so yes. So I'm very pleased with the 28 years that
extraordinary work
I've been doing this. And now, and I know we'll get into this a little later on, but I've come in this crossroads, in my career, that now I'm writing motivational poetry, yes, for women, but also writing poetry for children, in regards to getting curriculum out there into school districts, diverse a multicultural curriculum out there into school districts for children, that we need to really create more learning opportunities, not just for children of color, but for all children to get exposure and to get more material for all students, right? To become more sensitive to and more aware.
Oh my goodness. All students to become more, all adults and all students.
Yes.
Hello, to become more sensitive and more aware, of course. Yes. You know, we'll get into this deeper, but I want to wrap your poetry into the depth of that conversation before we really dive into that. But let me back up a bit. So you're teaching, and you have this amazing career with tendrils, and you're motivated to motivate more people and to teach and to spread. And so you get this idea to turn your writing for academe into creative writing. Hello. How did that happen? What was that spark? And did it happen within COVID? I think I remember you saying that in something that I learned. Interesting. And how did that change your understanding of your voice, and how did the poetry start? So tell us that story.
Honestly, Sandra, I really don't know how it happened. It just kind of happened.
Perfect answer.
COVID hit.
And you went,
and you know, everything shut down. Everything was remote, you know.
Yep.
I was home sitting, and the words just started coming.
Yeah.
You know, like I said before, you know, I wrote academic stuff, journals, all of that jazz, proposals, blah, 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 blah. I was never a poetry writer per se. I wrote a couple of poems here and there in my life. Yeah. But then the words just started channeling.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
The rest is pretty much history, you know. And like I was telling you before, you know, I'll go back and I'll read a poem, and I'm just laughing like I'm enjoying it, like I'm reading it the first time. and I'll giggle and enjoy it myself like someone else wrote it. So it's been an amazing journey. And I just realized a little while ago that actually today is my anniversary of launching the blog.
Oh my goodness! Happy anniversary! Congratulations!
Thank you.
And so you, as is always the case, Dr. Nay, we have so much we want to talk about. We're never going to get to everything. So I'm gonna just make the statement that you wrote spectacular poetry for young women of color, and then you moved into making writing poetry for young men of color, and then you moved into poetry for women, and you moved this whole mentality into online and creating your blog and your virtual community. How did that come about? Again, happy anniversary on that. That's fantastic.
Right. So I wrote the poetry, and I just felt that I was given the poetry for a reason. And I felt that the poetry wasn't just to sit on the computer. So I wanted a platform for the poetry to get out there for women, to help women, for them to utilize it.
So you didn't first think about making this into a book. Your first impulse was the online community?
Right.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
I didn't realize that. That's great.
Right. So it was to get out there, to create conversation, to have a platform, and I posted the videos. So I started posting the videos to create the Sistah Conversations.
And these videos, for people who are listening, are?
For women.
Videos of you doing what?
Oh, of me reading the poetry.
Cool.
So I was posting the poetry, and the sisters joined, and there are over like 250 sisters now. I mean, from around the world, from Japan, South Africa, UK, Canada, across the States. It's just amazing. And then my sons were saying, well, start a YouTube channel, a little more accessible, because, for the sisterhood, with the website, people have to, log on and blah, 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 blah. So
it's membership, right?
Right, it's membership. And it's free membership, Also, there is a sister showcase, so you can get to know each other. You send in a picture, a little bio to get to know, who you are, and etc. Little sister socials. I have, here and you're right. You could just, have a little Zoom meeting and just talk and that type of thing, etc. So it was just, so it was during, the COVID time, and just, getting together and supporting each other and that type of thing. And then I said, well, let me publish the book. And then publishing the book came about. Etc. So yes, so that's how it all kind of is, and as someone described it, I'm kind of riding the wave, it's just kind of, I'm just kind of following the pebbles of my path. And now from the book, I've developed, my Empower Feminine Leadership workshop.
Yes.
As to how I can help women embrace their feminine and masculine energies, right? To be leaders in the workforce.
It's so needed. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. So with the blog, it's based upon the premise of encouraging, embracing, empower, and to educate, right? Because I realized that all these sisters, and I love how you say it, all these sisters come from so many different backgrounds, right? They have so many different expertise, experiences, life lessons, learning, and we can all learn and share from each other. So there was this wonderful workshop that I facilitated with these 5 sisters from Canada, from Texas, etc., in regards to juggling hats, because as women, we juggle so many hats.
Oh my Lord.
So one was a psychotherapist, one was had expertise in regards to preventing burnout, one was she specialized in emotional intelligence, etc. And it was a sold out event. It was free, but it was a sold out event. And it was phenomenal. And it was just great. And the women came, and it was a great event. So I hope to have another, one of those. But it was the idea of just coming together, sharing expertise, and just supporting each other,
Yeah.
So yes, so that was with the blog. But, with the workshops, I'm looking at more of, with corporate, with women who are looking at
how to not
right
who find themselves in a patriarchal corporation and want to tap into their power as females.
Exactly.
And it's so incredibly needed at this time, and it's remarkable how the stream of education and curiosity and upliftment of people is your story. It's so beautiful. It is just so beautiful. And on that, it's a great time to take a break. When we come back with Dr. Nay, we're going to dive into more about her work on her blog, in her poetry, etc., and dive a little deeper into cultural diversity in all aspects of her work. When we are back on the edge of every day, stay tuned.
Howdy, I am Joseph Franklin McElroy, host of the new podcast, Gateway to the Smokies. It airs on talkradio.nyc every Tuesday night from 6 p.m. to 7. Every episode is dedicated to memorable experiences in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and surrounding areas. This show features experts and locals who will expound upon the richness of culture, history, and adventure that awaits you in the Smokies. Tune in every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 on talkradio.nyc.
Are you passionate about the conversation around racism? Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. TLC, host of the Dismantle Racism Show, which airs every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc. Join me and my amazing guests as we discuss ways to uncover, dismantle, and eradicate racism. That's Thursdays at 11 o'clock a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a small business trying to navigate the COVID-19 related employment laws? Hello, I'm Eric Sauver, employment law business law attorney and host of the new radio show Employment Law Today. On my show, we'll have guests to discuss the common employment law challenges business owners are facing during these trying times. Tune in on Tuesday evenings from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Chipping around, kick my brain to the ground. These are the days it never rained, but it pours on the edge of every day. And we are back with Dr. Nay on the edge of every day. And I want to do a shout out before we dive in. I think this is a great question that can lead into this next session. Sharon Leader, shout out to you. And Milton, I hope. Dr. Nay, wow, you have always looked into how to move forward and expand. Indeed, she has. Where did your motivation come from?
Wow. Well, thanks, Sharon, for that question. Oh.
Well, and we can put that towards cultural diversity if you want to move that answering into and move from in that into your work in cultural diversity. How about that?
That's a good one idea. The motivation, I think, comes from seeing the need.
Yeah, totally. I so get that about you. I mean, you just are so present.
You know.
Okay, so talk to us about your cultural diversity work, and in specific, I really want to dive into, from your point of view, how has cultural diversity in education evolved, and how has it fallen flat?
Okay. Honestly, doing this for so many years, I've seen some progress, but not enough.
I hear you.
We still have a long way to go, a very long way to go in regards to teachers being prepared to teach in diverse settings, in regards to having multicultural materials in the classrooms, right?
And feel free to dive in with examples whenever you want.
Okay.
Examples and stories.
And stories
that illustrate all of these things.
Or even the idea of the population of diverse teachers, right? In the
right. Totally. Well, before you do that, I was blown away by this. This cultural diversity in the classroom is on the rise. In 2017, U.S. public schools hit a minority majority milestone, with Latino, African American, and Asian students having surpassed the number of white students. In 2044, the U.S. Census predicts that over half the nation's population will be people of color. So, hello. That blew my mind, that then to know that where we were going in this conversation, it was, we have our work cut out. Anyway, continue, please.
And I don't have the percentage of teachers, but it was interesting. I had a conversation just Friday with a parent, and she was saying how a child had one teacher of color in their whole school career, and I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, well, my children pretty much had that same experience. And that was, and they graduated from high school, some years ago. So it's like, oh, okay, things haven't changed much, but, it's sad to say, because I've had my students that I teach at, at the college level tell me the same thing, that, sometimes I'm their first their first teacher of color in college. So that's very telling right there. But I've had this very interesting experience some weeks ago, and I was sharing with you how I've written these books for children of color. And just this morning, I was debating if I should write, include in the title for children of color or not. And I decided, yes, I'm going to write for children of color, because they're really for all children, but why not say for children of color? Because it's really for all children, right? Because all children need to be exposed to all books, because I don't want to get all into it, but just like for the cultural diversity class that I teach, and I've been teaching it for 20 something years, is that books that we read for mainstream are really written for mainstream or
white people.
Okay, you said it.
Yeah.
And if you read it and you analyze it, right? And when I have my students analyze it, they're really written, like you said, for white people, and it's written with white gaze.
Yes, of course.
Right? Because the people of color, right, are the others, or written with exoticism.
Oh, yes.
So, but it was so interesting because I attended this publishing workshop conference because I'm new into, publishing industry, and I wanted to learn and see how I can get my books published and get them into school districts and etc. And so I attended, listened to the keynote speaker. And, and she was saying, yeah, we need, more multicultural books, we need more diverse authors and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So the next day I attend a session with this literary agent. So I'm like, okay, let me find out more as to, the whole process of traditional publishing and etc. So I'm listening to her, and she says, yeah, we get, hundreds of query letters, every day and blah, blah, blah. But, sometimes if a friend or somebody I know, knows someone who wants to give me a letter, I will take it. and I'm glad to read it. And yes, I'll bring it to the front of the list. So I'm here listening. Okay, so I'm saying to myself, all right, most likely that person doesn't look like me. And that person is being brought to the front of the list. And I'm here sitting at the back of the list. And I feel like I'm being pushed further back to the back of the bus, and I'm like, does this person even realizing that she's practicing privilege? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, does she realize what she's doing and saying it in broad daylight? So I'm like, how is this? What's going on here? Do they really want to really diversify? Do they really want to diversify? The books? Do they really want multicultural literature? It's like, how do authors of color get their books published? How do you even get good literature or diverse literature into school districts or to be published by traditional publication companies? I mean, how does this even work? So I'm just totally disheartened by this whole process.
Yeah. And the you just touched on my next question. How is this that it remains a hamster wheel? Why is it that there are not more people who are aware that, I mean, it's such a buzzword right now, cultural diversity. Why is it that, and when I say buzzword, I mean that people are starting to wake up and go, oh, I have to look at this, and this is white privilege, and this is where white people need to learn, and this is where they have blinders on, and this is where they need to shut up, and this is where they need to pay attention. And, so I'm shocked to hear that, again, we're so far behind of all places, in education.
Exactly. And here you have somebody with 30 years of experience with the with the literacy and with, I think, it's literature, that's motivating and with, and it's like I can't even get a foot in the door because, you don't know, you're not in with the crowd.
Right. Well, we have to take a break. And when we come back, we will contemplate this and we will move into what your next steps are, Dr. Nay. And when we come back with the extraordinary Dr. Nay, who is forging new paths and putting out incredible tendrils of education everywhere she goes, on the edge of every day. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
In a post-COVID world, you may have many unanswered questions regarding your health. Are you looking to live a healthier lifestyle? Do you have a desire to learn more about mental health and enhance your quality of life? Or do you just want to participate in self-understanding and awareness? I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each Thursday, I will tackle these questions and work to enlighten you. Tune in every Thursday at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will be Frank About Health to advocate for all of us.
Calling all pet lovers.
Pet Avengers, assemble!
On the Professionals and Animal Lovers show, we believe the bond between animal lovers is incredibly strong. It mirrors that bond between pets and their owners. Through this program, we come together to learn, educate, and advocate.
Join us live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. at talkradio.nyc.
listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Chipping around, kick my brain to the ground. These are the days it never rained, but it pours on the edge of every day. And we are back with author and educator Dr. Renee on the edge of every day. So I have a quote here because it's Women's History Month that feels incredibly appropriate to read right at this moment. You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all of the world's problems at once. But don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. By the extraordinary Michelle Obama. So you have your consulting business that continues to, where you are working with people to educate them in their understanding. I'm going to implore the educators who are listening in, or the people who are listening in that know educators, to come back to talkradio.nyc and get the link to the show and send it to the educators and the people who know educators in your life immediately. We need to spread this word. We need to be on this issue, and we need to evolve more quickly with our cultural diversity, understanding the lens that we look through with all of this. Can you see us any more on that, Dr. Renee, on your consulting business? What's next for you?
Yes, I thank you for that. Because we really, like you had stated, the classrooms are changing, and as teachers, as educators, we must change with that, right? We must realize that we must meet the needs and of our students. We must see, what do we have to do, right?
Ooh,
bless
speaking
you.
The truth.
Bless you.
Sneezing means speaking the truth.
Right? So we have to see what we don't know, We can't, keep functioning the way we have all the time if the situation has changed.
Amen.
Amen. So I think we need to, step up the game.
In a big way.
In a big way,
All of us. Every last one of us.
Exactly. And just like I was, was talking to someone earlier, it's not just about, bringing in a book, right? It's all about bringing in, professional development, having the conversation, bringing in the compassion first, and so that the material, the books, can be utilized properly, so that it can make a difference.
Yes.
Because it's all about making a difference.
Yes.
As
you do.
And we need to empower the teachers so that they can better empower the students.
Well, I'm going to, that's it in a nutshell. We need to empower the teachers who empower the students. And so it goes. Generation after generation after generation. So, because I'm always shocked at the end of the show how quickly it comes, I'm going to ask you to dive in, right? I know I'm always like, my jaw always drops. Really? So I'm going to ask you now to share how people can find you, where they can get your... Oh, I want you to... Hello. I want you to read your poem.
Oh, okay.
That would be fantastic. This is You have put yours up. It's weird with a green screen for me to show this, but I have a signed copy. Thank you very much, because I'm special.
Yes. Yes, you are. You are very special.
Please read your glorious poem. Just stand still.
Just stand still. Sometimes you need to just stand still and let your spirit's vessel fill. You must embrace your moment of silence to accept your divine guidance, not hearing a whisper nor a sound, only the rhythm of your bleeding heart's pound, letting your inner gut tell you where to go. Rather it's traveling fast or taking it slow. You must listen to your voice from within to lead where you're going, not where you've been. Simply follow the path to your destiny as you navigate your personal journey. Just stand still and innately feel and take your hands off the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Release your grip from the gears and not steer. Instead, be faithfully led without any fear. No need for a GPS, globe, or a map of the road, because your navigation will be instinctually told. Sometimes you need to just stand still and not hear, and your self-direction will be crystal clear. Just stand still and wholesomely believe, and trustingly you will know when to stay or when to leave. Just stand still.
Just stand still and listen.
And listen.
And listen to your gut, and don't look to the past.
Mm-mm.
Look to the present that will lead you into the future. Powerful, powerful stuff. So, so let's get back to how they can find this book of poetry, how they can be a part of your online virtual community and be a part of your workshops and experience all your gloriousness. Where can they find you?
Okay, my website, aka blog, is Dr. Nay Blog, DR, N as in Nancy, AY .blog, BLOG. And on there, you can find my book, but also you can find my book on Amazon, Just Embrace Your Power. Also, you can find it on Barnes & Nobles, Walmart, all the other booksellers.
Excellent.
Yes. Let's see what else. I am on LinkedIn, Dr. Renee White. I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
Lovely. Yes. And your YouTube channel? My
YouTube channel is Sistah Conversations. Sistah, SISTAH, to Sistah, SISTAH, Conversations.
Wonderful. So we have 3 minutes to the end of the show. Please tell us what's next for you. You have a couple more books that you're going to publish. Yes?
Yes, I am in the process of actually still seeking publishers. to publish the 2 books for young adolescents. Dear Sister Girl, and in the parallel text, Yo Bro, Let Me Rap to Ya.
Yeah.
And they're also poetry, books of poetry. And they are like conversations of life lessons. And it's about appreciating your culture. For young girls, appreciating your sister hair. We come in different skin tones. Also, I wrote the stories doing poems during the George Floyd. So activism, how can you become social agent of change? Poems addressing bullying. Poems about demanding respect for the girls, for the boys, demanding your girl. The survival poem, like the conversation I had with my sons. If you stop by the police, keep your hands on the wheel. So those type of poems. And then also, being a literacy specialist, there are opportunities for students to connect. So there are questions for them to make connections. And also there are literacy, what I call graphic organizers, for them to analyze and to understand what they're writing. So it's really an instructional tool that can be used in the classroom. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a workbook, but it's motivational poetry.
And with art.
With art.
The art of poetry.
Exactly.
The art of gorgeous speaking and motivation and upliftment. Dr. Nay, DRNAY.blog. You can find all links to all things there. She is all over social media. Dr. Nay, thank you so much for being on my show, for sharing your wisdom, your knowledge, your beauty. It has been a great pleasure to have you here.
It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I've loved this experience.
Oh, thank you.
Because I relive on the edge.
Excellent. So let's talk after the show. For those of you who are listening in, thank you again for listening in. Thank you for being a part of our conversation tonight. Spread this word, spread it far, spread it wide. Remember, you are always on the edge of the miraculous. Until next Monday at 7 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, take good care. Good night.
This is our last dance. This is our last dance. This is ourselves under pressure. Under pressure. Under pressure.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you on edge? Hey, we live in challenging, edgy times, so let's lean in. I'm Sandra Bargman, the host of The Edge of Every Day, which airs each Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc. Tune in live with me and my friends and colleagues as we share stories and perspectives about pushing boundaries and exploring our rough edges. That's The Edge of Every Day on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
Do you feel uninformed about menopause and how it impacts on your life? Hi, I'm Pat Duckworth, women's health strategist and host of the Hot Women Rock radio show, empowering women leaders at menopause. Join me every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. UK time on talkradio.nyc for interviews with inspirational women who will share their top tips to rock your world.
In a post-COVID world, you may have many unanswered questions regarding your health. Are you looking to live a healthier lifestyle? Do you have a desire to learn more about mental health and enhance your quality of life? Or do you just want to participate in self-understanding and awareness? I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each Thursday, I will tackle these questions and work to enlighten you. Tune in every Thursday at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will be frank about health to advocate for all of us.
Howdy, I am Joseph Franklin McElroy, host of the new podcast, Gateway to the Smokies. It airs on talkradio.nyc every Tuesday night from 6 p.m. to 7. Every episode is dedicated to memorable experiences in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and surrounding areas. This show features experts and locals who will expound upon the richness of culture, history, and adventure that awaits you in the Smokies. Tune in every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.